to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taman.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taman.
Hey everybody, it's Happy Friday here on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, and right here with me is my friend Jesse Martin. How you doing today, bud?
Doing great. It's still Victory Friday or Victory Week.
That's
Yay.
right. If you listen to some of our media, they don't give a fuck if we won last week. They
No,
still like to shit on everything, and we're not going to get into all that. We're still in victory mode, and that's great. And I was going to say that we have another gentleman with us who needs no introduction, and he's not with us, so I'm not going to give him fucking Keith. I don't know where he is right now. He's probably twerking on some steps, working on his quads, so that next time when we win at home, he won't look so stupid.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. He should be with us in a little bit.
Yeah, I hope he does it. So the week that was, man, yeah, I'm still basking in the glow of a great victory. I really enjoyed the people complaining on Monday and Tuesday about the Bucks fans who were giving the excuse that Gronkowski and Brown weren't there, or that their cornerbacks weren't there properly, and it's like, whatever.
Just get the fuck out of there with that shit. We got the win. We won. We outplayed them. I mean, it was no ifs, ands, buts about it. We were the better team.
That's right.
Heineke was the better quarterback. Our defense was the better defense. And that's just the way the saying goes, any given Sunday. And it's the truth. It's the parody of the NFL.
That's right. And Heineke outplayed Tom Brady, and I'm going to say it again until we lose whenever that happes. That's when I'm going to stop saying it. He outplayed, and even after that, I don't care.
That does not mean he's our franchise quarterback. He was just better than Tom Brady on that day.
That's right. And I'm just going to take off to that day part whenever I'm talking to anybody that likes Tom Brady.
Butthole chin Tom Brady.
I'm only going to stand here at the podium for a minute, and then I'm going to go. Bye.
Yeah, that's kind of childish right there.
Fuck it. He's earned it. And you know what? That's enough hopping all over Tom Brady, except to say that you now joined the Daniel Jones Club for fuck you, Tom Brady.
Yeah,
all right.
I've never been a fan of old Tom. It's just because he wins too fucking much. That's why I ain't got really nothing against him. I want to kick him in the butthole chin a couple times, but yeah, nobody
likes a winner, especially when it's not their winner.
Yeah,
that's when, because you just know he's gonna figure out a way. Just like last week, everybody, we're all just shit, man. We ain't got enough to be able to get past this dude.
I mean, look, the game went. Me and Keith were sitting right next to each other at the game, and we were never comfortable the whole entire game. We always thought that other shoe was going to drop at some point in time, and it didn't. Luckily enough, it didn't. But you can never feel comfortable with Tom Brady on the other side of center.
No, there's been certain quarterbacks that are always like that you just know. Fucking Troy Aikman. If I could ever get a hold of that dude, I'd pluck him right in the nose, man. Fuck him for some of his comebacks against the team.
Yeah.
Roger Staubach, I was there for all of that kind of shit. Dan Marino would never, ever. I mean, dude, he invented the fake spike and beat the Jets on, I think it was Monday Night Football. That was great. So, yeah, especially, and I'm glad. I saw a little write-up today about Ron at the end of the game. Ron was trying to go for one after the touchdown on fourth down. He was trying to go for a point. And somebody with analytics brains got a hold of him first. Something happened, and the time stopped so they could get something squared away. He had time to listen to this dude who said, look, if you just down it, they can't return it. A return of a blocked extra point or something like that, or an intercepted at 2-point conversion is 2 points, which puts them at the position. They might go, you give you one play, right? I mean, we already gave them one untimed down at the end of the other half. So Ron was smart. Down the ball. So it's good to see. It's good to see. So, basking on the glow of that, would it be a letdown if they go down to Carolina and get beat?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not expecting to win here.
You never do. What is new about that?
Listen, because have you watched the season?
I have watched the season.
We we're not consistent in many different facets of this team. I'm hoping for it. I think it's going to be a good game. But when we get in the game keys and talk about Carolina, I'll explain, myself fully.
Okay.
But I don't think it should be a letdown because we shouldn't expect it. And if you're not expecting something, then are you really let down?
Well, that's the pessimist's way of looking at anything, right?
I mean, I'm the king pessimist around here.
That's right. It all sucks. I think this is a glass of piss. If I drink it, it's lemonade. I'm happy.
There you go.
Right. So I'm of the thinking that this is a team that is either on the same level that we expect to be or are. Right. So, okay, you're going to let them step on your fingers? I think it would be a letdown because they should be able to beat this team, and not because they beat the Bucs, but because this is a team they should have been able to beat, even if the Bucs blew them out. And when I say should be able to beat, I don't mean like easily handled. I mean, this is a team that they match up against in terms of the level that they both are, in terms of what their strengths are. Their strength is defense. Our strength should have been defense, but it's looking like it is again. So, I think it would be a bit of a letdown. I think that we're going to win.
That's good. I mean, I'm glad you think we're going to win. I just from what I've seen, from start to finish or from the start of the season, I haven't seen any consistency. So that consistency, have we won 2 games in a row? Have we? No, we have not. So,
we've only won 3.
If we did win this week, I mean, I could feel a little bit better about the team. I do think the defense is on the is trending upward. Absolutely. Yep. And we talked about this last week. They've seemed to, in the past 3 or 4 weeks, they seem to get better and better and better. And they played an amazing game last week. So hopefully, that levels out. And this is the team. This is the team that what we thought it was going to be, but they got to prove it to me before
without the pass rush.
Yeah.
It's what we thought we could be without. Yeah. But we expected a much better pass rush.
But before I have any expectations, they need to prove it to me.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing to me, when I say they have more intensity right now, they're playing with more intensity. That comes with confidence. If you know where you're supposed to go, you go there a lot faster. You go there with a lot more intent because you know what's going to happen once you get there. And that's what I'm seeing out of this defense right now. They're really going to have to be on their fucking toes this weekend because the nightmare comes to town, and that's Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. We couldn't cover a running back if we had, 20 guys with a big ass fucking, a mainsail to try to catch him. They wouldn't be able to cover him.
Yeah, and he played very well in his first week back last week too. I think he had like
he had like 140 total yards.
Yeah.
95 yards rushing, and then something like 10 receptions. So this dude's he's a pain in the ass. And I say that with every bit of respect, and that is actual NFL analysis. I don't know if you realize that or not, but I got that directly from the premium section of NFL.com. This guy is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So don't let him get going. Get down on a pile, punch him in that hamstring. I mean,
they're going to have to play with a lot of 5-down linemen, and McCaffrey is the number one key the person that you got a key on. He will beat you. He's really good, man. I mean, there's no other words to describe how phenomenal that kid is.
Yeah, I know. My dogs are going to describe it. My wife is now getting ready to come through the door, so of course they're going to be noisy. So pardon me, everybody. We'll just pretend that's Cam Newton. All right, he's barking. I'm back.
Oh, he's so
That's
annoying.
what I heard all week long.
So annoying. I hope we punch him in the mouth.
All I could hear, and I know this is probably much older reference than you, but from Kevin Bacon from fucking, what was that movie about? Nobody was allowed to dance. Footloose. Let's dance. Yeah. I'm back. Let's dance. So anyway, I'm way off on a tangent here. Well, I think that Cam Newton is going to present a bit of a problem in a couple of different ways. Aside from that, we know he can run the ball, and I guess we think he can throw the ball.
I don't think he can throw the ball. Yeah, we need to have focus on stopping the run and let Cam Newton beat us through the air.
Yeah, because I don't know that. I mean, he's a smart guy, but I don't know how quickly he's going to grasp Mr. College Boy's playoffs.
And Jack Del Rio said something. It's true. I mean, how you got 2 weeks to learn a whole new playbook. That's just not feasible. So, Ron Rivera and company, they're going to have to prepare for 2 quarterbacks because PJ Walker is going to play 2. I think a lot, and I honestly think that PJ Walker's going to play more than a lot of people expect. This is not going to be just the Cam Newton show. I think there's going to be certain packages where, certain drives and packages and looks that you're going to see Cam Newton play a lot, but I think it's going to be more like 50-50.
That's fine with me.
Quarterbacks.
Del Rio said directly that he expects to see both quarterbacks, and they've prepared for both quarterbacks. I think today Carolina named Cam Newton the starter, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm fine with all of this because, I'm not really all that afraid of Cam Newton. I'm not.
You shouldn't.
Aside from he's had plenty of time for his foot to heal. A lot of people have fallen back on the excuse that he had COVID last year, and that's why he was bad after that.
What happened the year
I'm listening. His foot. He had bad foot problems. The thing is, I'm listening to one of their bloggers today, or one of their radio people, or whatever the fuck you call those people. It's the same person I am right now, Mr. Podcaster, Mr. Pretender, is according to our buddy Tim Waller. Hey, buddy. That Cam Newton's foot, his foot is fine. You saw last year he had 11 rushing touchdowns or whatever he had. He had 12 rushing touchdowns for something like 18 yards. Don't tell me he can run. That dude ran 2-yard touchdowns. One of them, I think the longest one was from the 8-yard line. And it's like, come on, man. Don't tell me he can run. He's doing like he did last week, which is effective. He's a big fucking guy. Don't get me wrong. It's hard to tackle him. So, but I'm not worried about Cam Newton's legs in terms of that going to beat us at all. And if they bring the other guy in, he loves to turn the ball over. He just loves turning the ball over. So I'm happy with that. As long as Heineke can play the same measured game that he played last week. He wasn't great. He wasn't lights out. He was great by his standard, but he was just a game manager who made a few plays. He put the ball where the guys could get him. He waited. He found the right receiver, and he hit him when they were open. He hit him in stride. He hit him when he was supposed to. He didn't do anything eye-popping. John Madden's not going to be talking about him at the Hall of Fame. Hey, Cam, that guy, freaking Heineke, you should have seen him the other day. He was great. So as long as he can continue to stay within himself and play that kind of a game, I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah, no doubt. And last week was a good, warm-up game because the Tampa Bay defense is no slouch. But let's move on to the Carolina defense. They, the DBOA, they're ranked 3rd. These guys, they're good. You got Brian Burns, you got Hassan, you got quite a Jeremy Chin. You have a flux of talent that this Panther defense are going to come at you. One good thing that we have going for us is our offensive line is playing up to par, and they're going to need to play their best game this week because these guys are headhunters. They're quick. They hit hard. And we need to run the ball. We need to establish the run. And the game plan that we had last week against Tampa Bay should be definitely used again this week, or at least part of it. Because this Carolina defense isn't a joke.
Well, last week we ran the ball 34 times.
Yeah, right? I mean, we didn't get a good yard per carry average. I think it was like 2.7 or 2.9. But no, it doesn't matter. We kept the ball out of the offense's hands.
Right, and not only that, but when it came down towards the end, we had good runs out of a back that was pounding the shit out of that fucking team, and they ran the ball for 10 minutes. And what was it, 10-28 for an 80-yard drive? They kept the entire fourth quarter, basically. They had that ball the entire fourth quarter, and they finished it off by slamming it into the end zone. All right. So, when I say run the ball 34 times, they're not always going to be great. But like you were at the game, so I guess you did see the broadcast afterwards, but you could hear Mark Schlereth saying that what Ron Rivera said last week was fall in love with the 4-yard carry because it'll turn into the 8-yard carry. It'll turn into the 12-yard carry.
And that's what you saw last week. As the game goes on, those linebackers, they get tired and they don't want to get hit. They don't want to get hit, man. And because they've been getting hit all game and it's different than if you're the one that's being hit or doing the hitting, that's for sure. So you keep chucking at it and keep plucking, get those tough 2 and 3 yard carries will turn into 4 and 5 yard carries by the end, towards the end of the game.
That's right. And right now we don't really have a slam back. So it's gotta be, Antonio Gibson.
But Antonio Gibson, he's starting to lower his shoulder pads and starting to lay the lumber, and you're seeing that he's getting running behind his pads now instead of kind of straight up and down like he was doing earlier on in his career. He's still very young at the running back position too. He
was a wide receiver.
He was a wide receiver in college. So he's still learning as time goes on, and I think he's going to get better. If he can stay healthy, he's going to get better and better and hold on to the fucking ball.
So. I think that was his primary issue earlier in the year, was he had so many minor injuries that were bothering him, like a shoulder problem. He had a shin, a fracture in the shin. That can't feel good, a little shin splint. But he played through it, and now I think that the bye week did him a world of good. And we're going to see him slam through the Carolina Panthers this weekend, I hope. And that's, I think, a big key. You want to shut down Christian McCaffrey? Sit his ass over there on the bench for a while.
Yeah.
You know what? Keep the ball. Make first downs. Keep the ball. And last week we saw it quite a bit. We started to get ourselves. I mean, first down, we ran it a lot, and it didn't really do a whole lot for us in terms of, but second down passing and second down runs got us into third and manageable, and they were able to convert. And that's what makes the big difference. You got to be able to make those first downs.
Yeah.
So we got some injuries going into the game. Shaka Toney, I don't know if you saw, but he's got a concussion, so he's been ruled out.
That kind of hurts because he did play last week and he did well. I think they're going to have to call up William Bradley King. We also got Tuhill and James Smith Williams. They're going to get a lot of playing time, and these guys are young. Tuhill's got some experience, but they're not Chase Young or Montez Sweat. So it is what it is.
They probably feel like they've got something to prove. Shaka Toney last week got in a couple of plays and looked pretty good. What you want really is a guy that gets in there and freaking mucks it up. Doesn't look like he's out there fucking it up. I want you to get in there and fucking cause a ruckus, buddy, and that's what I want you to do.
It's their time. It's their time to prove it. I mean, they're on the team for a reason. It's the next man up, and you can't you can't cry about missing.
Here's your chance.
Sweat and Chase. So there you go.
And I think they did last week. I thought that they did. I thought they stepped up pretty well. And I think that's part and parcel because of the healthy rotation that we've had going this year. Even though we complained about it all the time, why is Chase Young on the sideline for this play or that play? Which is true. I don't know why you put him on the sideline on a third down. I just don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I don't get it either. But in the long run, it paid off because some of these guys have had some playing time. They're not fresh spring off. We got a couple of them that'll be coming in. Bonmi, or how do you say his name?
Yeah, Boonmi. Boonmi Rotini.
Rotini.
I don't know how you say it, but he's my favorite player now because he's got Bunmi.
I just want to hear. I'd like to get into a game big enough where Joe Buck has to say that. That's what I'd like. And maybe Troy Aikman. Hey, what you don't want is that. But Troy Aikman with his stupid fucking call again last night. When you hear a team do something stupid, make a big stupid play like you saw last night, plenty of times. Troy Aikman. Well, that's really not what they wanted to do right there. No shit. Yeah. So, all right. So we've got. Thomas is out. Logan Thomas is out again. So there's I don't know when he's expected to come back.
He must have tore his hamstring because it's been in was that week 1 that happened?
Yeah, week 1 or 2. No, it wasn't 1. It wasn't the Giants game either, was it? Was it the Giants game?
I think it was the week 1 or week 2. It might have been week 2.
It wasn't week 1. It wasn't week 1. It might have been week 2.
But they re-signed Tamarick Hemingway to the practice squad. We expect him to probably be elevated for this game. then you
boy.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
John Bates is because Seals Jones is out. John Bates is the number one tight end. So we are in trouble in that situation. What good thing about Bates is he's got good hands. He's got good hands.
Yeah.
His quickness, though, it leaves a lot to be desired. But I think he did well last week. He it was an almost fumble that could have cost.
If I was the commissioner, that would be a fumble. I don't get this. His elbow is down. He's down. Bullshit.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we'll take that.
Yeah.
We'll
So, we'll see. I mean, just other players are going to have to step up. Maybe you put somebody else out there. I mean, you're probably going to see a lot of Tamarick Hemingway though.
I don't know. Samus Reyes is probably going to play a little bit. He's been playing on special teams, so they'll probably put him in a little bit. And I have no problem with John Bates running down and catching the ball. He does have good hands. He made a big play last week. It was like an 18-yard reception.
Yeah.
So he had some impactful plays on the game, and I think he's a halfway decent blocker. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about him going out there as tight end. Besides, one of the things that Heineke seems to shine with is, I mean, he feeds Terry, but when there's a guy out there who's new to him, he freaking rolls with that guy. Ricky Seals-Jones, that fucking first touchdown he threw to Ricky Seals-Jones, you didn't expect that.
Yeah.
And they developed a bit of a relationship. So I think he'll be all right with Bates, especially last week with those catches. I think he realizes he can trust him.
I mean, trusting his players, man. That's what you want to see. Trust him until you don't.
Yeah. Well, from the absolutely no surprise category, Curtis Samuel.
But
I got an idea.
Actually, practice on a limited basis today.
I have an idea. All right, the team paid a lot of money for this guy, right? Fans want to see him. So maybe what you can do is instead of upgrading the high dollar seats to have, cushions or ass freaking, vibrators or whatever they put in those chairs, how about you build a side field so people can go over and watch Curtis Samuel during the game? Because that's all I ever see him. He's over on the side field.
He was doing wide receiver drills today, so you take that for what it's worth. With the helmet on.
It's not his head that's the problem. Maybe he should put a cup on. I don't know. All right, St. Juice looks like he's going to play, so we got another one of our DBs back, but we'll see how much playing time he gets, man.
Cosme is trending towards playing, I think. He was available last week in emergency situation, but Lucas, he did okay last week.
I don't feel bad about having Lucas out there. I have no fear about any of that.
Lucas is fine. And that's about it for the injury front.
So give me an offensive key. What do we got to do to win this
offensive key, man? I think we just got to we got to run the ball. And Taylor's got to play like he did last week. Like we mentioned before, this Panther defense is the real deal. I think it's going to be the best defense we've played all season.
They create turnovers.
They do create turnovers. We got to limit mistakes, and we just got to. Heineke's just got to go out there and just be himself, okay, and protect the football, make smart decisions, and duplicate what he did last week, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of other keys left after that. But yeah, Heineke's got to throw the ball on time. That's the main thing. Find your receiver, throw the ball on time. Don't wait, don't hesitate. And if you have an opportunity and you've already hesitated once, fucking run. All right, make that defense wonder what you're going to do.
Don't be afraid to throw the ball away either. Instead of taking a 15-yard sack or just throw it away.
I don't worry about him in that regard because I've seen him throw the ball away on fourth down and ball game when he didn't see a receiver open. So he's going to play it safe. I'm not worried about that. All right, so defensively, what do we got to do to win this game?
Yeah. Okay, so I think we have to play the run. Both when Cam Newton's on the field, we have to play the run. We have to contain Christian McCaffrey because you got to remember McCaffrey can go out and play wide receiver too.
He can play anything.
Focus on the run. Your defense that you played last week at Tampa, that was you got to make Cam Newton beat you in the air. Okay, this is the big key. Don't let the run game get going. Because Cam can run the ball. He can get those, 3-4 yard, because he's a big guy. He's hard to take down.
Huge. He's like 260 pounds.
Very, very hard to take down.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
But I am not afraid necessarily of him through the air.
Not maybe now. A couple of years ago, I would have been.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, sure, but not now. I'm not afraid. I think that you played bump and run like you did last week. Jam the receivers and
you can handle DJ more.
Keep the game in front of you.
Right. Robbie Anderson's a matchstick. He really is. You take one of those fucking Gatorade straws and you stick him in that, and you just leave him there on the sidelines for the rest
And
of the
DJ
game.
Moore, he ain't a big guy either, so you could knock him around too.
He's talented. I like DJ
He's
Moore.
talented.
Now, to me, the main key, I think, is you don't let Cam get started. You don't let his bullshit start, because once Cam is one of those guys that feeds off of it when he's beating you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When he starts to get ahead and when he starts to dominate, man, that's when it really turns on, because he's going to rub your fucking nose in it. And especially this game.
That is another key too, because it's expected
can't
to
let him
be
get
a
going.
sellout crowd. Okay. It's first time in a while that the Panthers sold out their stadium, because there is a lot of hype to this game. So we need to cut it out before it gets started.
Yeah, you can't let him get started. You got to give him a rocky road to start. You let him complete the first couple of passes, move the ball down the field, maybe score right away like we've been used to doing. Then you start to get this cocky Cam, this dude that, and he grows with that shit. Oh, look who's here.
Well, there we go.
Oh, well, maybe not. All right, we might have had an appearance there from our team ambassador, but I'm sure he's probably out doing some. There he is, back from his international mission.
Hey.
Hey, look at me. Signed on as Jesse Martin
to join us. I think you logged in under my information. Are you even stalking me, stealing my passwords?
Maybe, sir. I had to set up a Zoom meeting for our ambassador meeting for this Monday, so that's probably.
I thought it was. Oh, so you did talk to Jason today. Now we were just talking about which dishwashing liquid we think that you use in your house. I'm with Dawn, and Jesse. So can you please
listen? With my wife, it's whatever's on sale at Aldi.
There you go, some Palmolive.
So it's not Dawn. It's probably something in the same bottle, but it's called Down.
Well, hold on. I'm about to go tell you. I've already wasted your guys' time enough. Let me waste more. Hold on.
Let's find out about this completely made up horseshit. The sound effect is on its way, by the way.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
All right. So defensively, stop Christian McCaffrey and don't let Cam.
You can't let Cam. You cannot
let him get
Cam
started.
Newton get started.
Because once his ego, starts, you can't put a cap back on it. He'll kick the shit out of you.
Yeah.
It's Palmolive, assholes.
Palmolive.
Wait, I called it.
Well, I heard Palmolive kept your skin soft. I never used it down there. Does it really do a good job for you? For your asshole?
God, I hate you guys.
Welcome to the show, Keith.
Yeah, welcome to the show, buddy. We were talking about keys to the game, and me and John kind of went over ours, pretty much the same. What are your keys to victory this Sunday?
I don't know. Whatever you did in Tampa. How about you do that with the Panthers? What are you? Is that cocaine, sir? Like, what are you doing?
No, this is because of cocaine.
Man, put that shit on mute.
Many years
was.
I'll cut myself out there.
Honestly, I don't know the keys. I mean, what are we gonna get? What's Cam Newton, man? I don't know.
Like, we got to stop him. We were just talking right before you came on.
How do you game plan this guy who you think is washed, and yet I don't know. Like,
Ron knows how to game plan him.
Yeah,
anybody knows this guy.
One good
coaching
check mark in with us is Ron knows Cam Newton.
Listen, whatever you did in for Tampa's game plan, treat Carolina the same way. I don't think that you're going to have a strong arm, out of Cam, where you're going to have, bombs down the field. You think so? You think there's going to be bombs down the field?
For him? Yeah, I think it's an easier throw for him to get out and do rather than all of a sudden try to start mastering which these route trees this guy is going to take. DJ go deep or, Robbie Anderson getting a step on this guy. I think you'll see a few shots downfield from Cam because he's got a cannon. You know that. He's got a monster arm. I think they'll try it. Yes, he does.
I I don't think it's
a lot of people think that arm is washed.
I think most people think his legs are washed, but you need your legs to throw. And I think his foot is okay. I think you're going to see a couple of shots because what we were just saying right before you signed on was that you can't let Cam get his ego started. You can let Cam start making a play or two. He makes a couple of plays or God forbid makes a big deep shot like that, man, his head explodes and so does his game. Once he's got somebody down, that dude laughs and beats their ass. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting, because I haven't paid too much attention to Cam Newton ever since he left Carolina. His career is kind of, spiraling downward. I didn't pay too much attention to him in New England to really see, the situation.
Chance to beat on anybody last year.
Right. Well, again, a lot of people, that defend Cam will say, well, he didn't have any receivers. He didn't have this. He didn't have that. Okay, sure. I mean, who am I to argue that? I guess. Is Cam Newton someone that we're really afraid of? Tom Brady was someone who we're really afraid of, and we took him out of the entire game. I mean, from first quarter to fourth, he had that touchdown again, to Mike Evans. But other than that, Tom Brady was a non-factor in this game. And so I think maybe
they put pressure on him.
Right. And I think that you have to treat the same way as Cam Newton, just keep applying pressure. Now, how do we do that without Montez Sweat and, now Chase Young? I don't know, but it was happening after Chase Young left the game too. So the defense is still capable of, applying the pressure and keeping these QBs from throwing long balls down the field. It's just a matter of which Cam Newton are we going to get? It's almost like the same thing with Jameis Winston. Which Jameis are you going to get? Well, are we going to get Cam Newton who's been, out of the game for a while? Are we going to get New England Cam Newton, or are we going to get Carolina Cam Newton where he was, damn good?
There's a different factor.
A long time ago when he was good.
I agree.
There's a different factor at work here, and that is that he's coming back after everybody gave him up and after Carolina got rid of him and after Ron Rivera got rid of him. There's all of this stuff, and it's not so much Cam's what he is capable of physically right now.
That's what I'm afraid of.
It's his head and it's his heart. Look, you've known a guy like this. Once he gets on top of you, that dude laughs. He starts really rubbing it in and starts laughing like hell, and he loves it. He feeds off that shit. If he makes a couple of plays, Cam's aura, I hate to say it any other way, will carry them higher. He gets better as that shit goes on. Once he starts to win, he'll fucking crush you.
It seems like
and
he
laugh while he does it.
Yeah, I can see that because it seems like Cam Newton thrives off.
It's not a fault.
It thrives off. I feel like he thrives off the attention that he gets. If it's positive intention, it's good. If it's negative attention, it's almost like I'm going to play with a chip on my shoulder. I've got something to prove. And right now, Cam Newton has something to prove. And what he has to prove is, can he still play this game?
And if he does, if he shows it early in like the first quarter of our first drive, let's say we give him the ball and he gets a couple of first downs, they will adore him in Carolina. They will adore him.
What I was telling,
he'll feed off of all of that and he'll get better.
I was telling you earlier, John, that one thing that the reason why I don't feel very comfortable with this game is the Cam Newton factor. I don't have any faith in Cam Newton. I did not want him here. I think he's washed up.
He's got a defense now,
but
and a running.
This game is really big for him in many ways. One, he wants to prove that he still has it, and two, he wants to prove to his old ball coach that, hey, you should have signed me. The reason why I'm afraid, I think he's probably going to have. I'm afraid he's going to have his best game of his career, not of his career, but that he's had in a very, very long time is going to be this game. But I think
he could
maybe later on the old Cam Newton's going to show up, and you're going to see more of what you saw last year. Because his arm is dying. That's been proved the past 2 seasons. His arm is not what it used to be.
No,
but I think this game right here, he's probably going to be so up for this game.
Right.
That's what scares me. Yeah, that's what kind of frightens me.
Feed off of it.
And why I'm not so confident in us winning this game is the Cam Newton factor. Not that I think Cam Newton's good at all, because I don't. I just think he might be good at this game because this game is going to mean so much to him.
Well, it's the perfect setup too, because he's going against a team that is known to not be good, a defense to not be so good. But we're also coming off of that Tampa Bay win high.
Right.
We're coming off of knowing that we lost Chase Young. We didn't have Montez Sweat. However, our defense stepped it up. The secondary stepped it up. The line stepped it up. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, why does this happen with our team where it takes until the middle of the season for these guys to start knowing each other, trusting each other?
They changed them out. That's why.
Well,
there's new guys.
Sure. I mean, they changed out different positions, but I'm just, move guys to where they need to be. But it just seems like it's like middle of the season. Here we are. Now we get it. Now things are clicking. That's the easy thing to say, though, when you're coming off of a big win against a team that no one had picked us to win. Right. So, I'm with Jesse. I personally don't think Cam Newton is 100% washed. I still think that there's a place for him in this game. Look at the quarterbacks in this league. Right. Look at how many are successful compared to the ones who were not. I still think Cam Newton has something to contribute. And I think that he can contribute well against a poor defense. But can Cam Newton replicate the old Cam Newton against what played against Tampa last week? And I don't think so. And that's why I say whatever game plan you had drawn up for Tom Brady, you treat Cam Newton the same, because guess what? We contained Tom Brady all 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We're going to give up a score. It's going to happen.
Don't forget, they didn't have Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown.
That's what I get that. Listen, if you can't beat Washington football team with Tom Brady and Goodwin and Evans, listen, then sorry for you, because anyone was having their way. They were bending us over and they were sticking it in hard, no lube. And we were just like, yeah, boy. Yeah. This doesn't feel good. And it didn't feel good for games. But then it felt good when Tom Brady thought he was going to stick it to us. And instead we bent him over. And my God,
I'd say Mrs. Keith has a weekend in store.
Analogy going on.
Look,
right
and
now.
I got to tell everybody that's out there, you got to watch the YouTube video so you can see Keith's insane eyes while he's saying all of this stuff. My man was looking like a serial killer there. Listen to my manifesto of Tom Brady.
Look at me. Put it in my bowl. Please don't use that as the teaser.
So, what's his name? Steve Smith had some shit to say. Right? What else? Steve Smith is one of the greatest trash talkers of all time.
Yep.
Of all time. I tell you what, what's the old phrase of who would you rather have down in the alley with you when all the shit hits the fan? And for me, it's Steve Smith. I don't care who the fuck you take. You can take the Incredible Hulk. I'm taking Steve Smith.
Yeah. Well, let me chime in on that. Sorry, Jesse. If you
chime in.
Please, so the only reason why I really want to chime in on this is because I said something, I think it was yesterday.
I saw
and
that.
I think JP decided to respond to me today, because for whatever reason. And
he was taking his shit.
People were missing the point of my tweet. It wasn't
on Twitter. People missed your point.
Seriously, it wasn't the fact that it wasn't the fact that I was against the interview or anything that Steve Smith said in the interview. It was the fact that in a tweet, when someone had said to JP in a tweet, "This is why the fan base hates you," and then this is classic JP replies and said, "What did I do wrong?"
Right, like he's trying to work on his game here. Oh, please tell me.
What did I do wrong? Bro, no one is mad that you interviewed Steve Smith.
No,
but let's not act like JP. And I know he'll be like, if anyone hears this or whatever, JP doesn't like me. And JP will act like he doesn't know who KG Skins 26 is, but he does. He does. He remembers the time that he flamed me on that podcast when that whole flame was a setup to begin with. I thrive on that because I wanted to prove a point that I could even get JP in his high-pitched voice. Right? And that's exactly what he did and what he said. And listen, I bring on the hate. I love the hate. I love when people call me a fucking clown. It makes me smile a certain way.
You fucking clown.
back on target with the JP thing, right? So what did you do wrong? Come on, JP. Are you serious right now? You knew that by interviewing Steve Smith, you knew that he was not going to say very nice things about ex-Carolina members who now happen to be a part of the Washington football team. So you were fishing for information and fishing for that negative story, so that way you could drop it out on Twitter to say, hey, look what Steve Smith said about such and such. Yeah. It's the MO. It's what he does. It's his business. It's his line of business. Fine, hide behind that. But at the end of the day, someone like me that sees that, I'm going to call it out. And it's up to you whether you choose to respond. And he chose to respond. Now, getting to what Steve Smith said, other than the fact that they were kind of wrong about the contract situation, Steve Smith was telling no lies. He was telling the truth. There's no reason for that guy to lie. He has nothing to lie about. So that
he'll lose his job if he does, and he's got a cushy job.
Correct. And again, he's been known as a shit talker. That's what he does.
He's the best.
This is now what he does for a living off the field. Now, again, I have no issues with what he said. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and it is what it is. But let's also not act like that we don't know by interviewing him that he's going to come out and say negative things about certain people. And this is why the fan base hates local media in the DMV area, because they do this shit all the time. Yeah, it's done on purpose. It's done on purpose
for drama. It's being done to stir the pot. And they know what they're doing. And then when you call them out on it, they're like, "Oh no, what?"
Right, they're right. They play the innocent.
Own the fucking shit.
Absolutely, just own it and say absolutely. Just say, "Well, yeah, we wanted Steve Smith because the response to me was because he's a future Hall of Fame. He's an NFL analysis, and so I take shits once a day. What does that mean to me? That means nothing. What
I tell you what it means to me. It means you need to increase your roughage.
JP and Beeman spent a whole hour trying to defend themselves on the radio today. I don't know if you guys heard that, but because fans were upset at them.
There is a media model.
Real quick, before you get into that model, let me finish my thought and then I'll shut up and let you guys talk. But the thought process in this is you knew exactly what you were doing when this happened. And this is what this local media tends to do. It's the reason why I built my Twitter off of trolling them, because I call them out on their bullshit. And the simple matter of the fact is, you know that this team right now is a current dumpster fire. So what this local media likes to do is play the fence. And so what they do is they play the fence on their radio and their podcasts for ratings. Okay. We all know that this was for ratings. So they did that. And then what they do, what boggles my mind is JP stands on the end zone, in between quarters to talk positive things to the fans that are sitting inside the stadium. It's such a fucking joke. That's why people don't like the local media, is because they play the fence. Look, I don't really care too much for B-Mitch, in my opinion.
I don't like him either.
I think B-Mitch sits there and screams on the mic over some nonsense, senseless shit. But
he gets his balls all in a Twitter of it.
Yep. At least he holds his ground to whatever he believes in. But the thing is JP allowed Steve Smith to steamroll them on their own show. They should be embarrassed and absolutely 100% ashamed of themselves. But you know what? They're not.
They won't.
You know why? They won't.
Because their job is to not be.
Correct. And their job is to get those ratings, to get people like us right now to talk about what they did.
That's why I'm gonna talk. Give
fuck them.
More than 30 seconds to I hate JP Finley. I love Brian Mitchell as a football player. I can't stand him now. I think they're fakes, they're frauds. And that's pretty much it.
It was a Tim Lawler sighting there. Hi Tim, how are you? Here we are 42 minutes into the show. I know you're
who that guy is, by the way. Keep it going though. It doesn't
but everything he said was exactly true. They're POSs in my book. And that's all I'm gonna say on the subject.
All right. Well, today I'm listening to Al Galdi, who I really like. Okay.
I like Al Galdi too.
Me too.
But last week, what I said on the show, and Keith, I think we were fake outrage was our show last week, and you were talking about being fake outraged. And one of the things that you see on Twitter a lot and you see in our media a lot is this fake outrage for shit that didn't even happen. And I even said so last week on the podcast that you have to say it as if it did happen, and this is how you would have reacted. So today I'm listening to Al Galdi, okay, and he's talking about Mac Jones and his performance last night and the fact that he might be up for Rookie of the Year, and he's playing really well, and he is. Well, this brings up to the point about whether or not the Washington football team should have traded up in the draft, because you would think it would have been somewhat easy to trade up in the draft to go after him, unless, of course, they didn't believe in him, which would have been another colossal mistake. And it's like, but maybe Bill Belichick wanted him and wasn't going to trade back because he liked him and knew he could do this.
Yeah.
The whole thing, it's just they make up a supposition and then they go, well, this is why your team sucks. It's because I just made this up.
Yeah, that's what they do. And it's a,
Al usually doesn't do that, but he did it today.
But the whole, like, if you actually like watch Mac Jones and look at his stats, and he went into the perfect situation for him. I don't think if Mac Jones would have came here, no, sir, he would not be having the season he's having right now.
He has established coaches that know how to develop quarterbacks. And even though Tom Brady has been there for 20 years and they didn't really have to develop him for the last 15 of them, that they developed Garoppolo, they've developed other quarterbacks that have gone around the league.
Matt
Maybe
Castle,
not been as successful. Right. Castle had a good long freaking career.
Yeah.
They're not stupid as to what they do. And if they target him, I don't think you're going to get Belichick to budge, especially when he knows
and they have a phenomenal defense, which is the real,
they're killing it.
The real story of that team is that defense. It's not Mac Jones.
So
Patriots. Well, we'll get to them in a little while.
Well,
I just want to talk about what Al Galdi said.
The whole Mac Jones thing, I think that, again, fans need to understand, and we don't because we're stupid, and we're going to just, talk about theories, hypotheticals, because that's all we can do. But at the end of the day, no one said that if Mac Jones comes to the Washington football team, he's going to share the same success that he's sharing in New England right now. Again,
still,
any quarterback, it doesn't matter. The team that drafts you has to draft you and create a scheme behind.
And they have to want you and believe in you, and that's exactly what Belichick
and they have to
did.
create a scheme that is going to tailor to that specific quarterback's skill set. If you can't do that, then that guy's not going to fit the system, and he's not going to be good for your team.
Yeah.
But we've seen multiple quarterbacks that have left the team that they've drafted with, went to another team and actually played well. So that's proof right there. So Mac Jones very well could be everything everyone said he was going to be in the NFL if he played on the Washington football team. But he's playing on the Patriots, and
he's
Bill
playing
Belichick's
for the best organization in freaking professional football. All right?
Correct.
Those
so
guys, they know what the hell they're doing.
Correct. So, hey, you're following Tom Brady's footsteps. That's all, good luck with that. But if you're talking about making your own career and making things happen, the coach that you want is the same coach that coached Tom Brady. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
because you remember Tom Brady was a 6th round draft pick that
Drew Bledsoe
have you all seen the pictures of Tom Brady when he was drafted at the combine?
I've seen some deep fakes of Tom Brady from the picture where
he looks like probably mind. Keith without a shirt on.
Probably.
Without
the pointy hair.
Tom Brady's a handsome guy, though. I'm not. Tom Brady, he gets model.
He's got that butthole chin too.
Brady. I mean, my wife is a model. She's a sexy one. I love you, babe.
So, let me see. What have I got next up?
You're way hotter than Giselle.
So you are the team ambassador, Mr. Redskins team ambassador. Excuse me, Mr. Washington football team ambassador. You had a very important phone call today with a very important person. Can you tell us anything about that?
I sure can. I can tell you all 3 things about that. I also do want to notate that I was not the only one, so it's not exclusive to just me. So any of the haters,
we don't care about them. Fuck them,
cool.
Except for Andy.
Yeah, fuck them.
Rio's pretty cool. So
Rio, Andy, I believe Chris was on the, how to call.
Chris?
There was a few others. Anyways, to answer your question, yes, I had a very interesting call with Mr. Jason Wright today. It hopped on a conference call. It was about a 20-minute long conversation, and these 3 questions were asked, and I was told and given permission that I could talk about this. So let's do this. Question number 1 with Mr. Wright was, How can we get fans
Can I
in the
guess?
stands?
Can I guess? Oh, I was going to guess. Can I be your best friend? But you
Oh, no. I'll let you guess here at the end of this, though. So the first question was, how can we get fans into the stands? Now, mind you, I'm not prepared for any of these questions. And so what I said to Mr. Wright is said, well, besides the obvious, Jason, team needs to win. How about lower parking parking fees? How about concessions being cheaper? How about beer not being $15? That apparently Jesse could give a shit about because my man was shoveling multiple $15 and drinking beers that game. And I'm thinking in my head, like, Jesse, you're contributing to this problem, you asshole. But see, Jesse doesn't care.
You know what
Jesse's
Jesse said? Jesse says,
like,
fuck you, man.
Yeah,
I never
like,
fucking
I
liked
got
you.
promoted. I got
fucking
promoted.
asshole.
Like, I got money.
Fucking
and I don't care. I give it to Dan Snyder. Here you go. $20 for a beer? I got you. So anyways.
Jesse turned around and said, you shut the fuck up.
Jesse pulling out that card, and I'm like, dang, Jesse got some beer money. But anyways. So how can we get stands or how can we get fans in the stands? And so obviously Jason Wright is a very smart individual. He knows the obvious answers. So I said to him, do you want the obvious answers or do you want outside of the box thinking? And he said, give it to me straight. What do you want? Give it to me straight. And so, I gave him what we just talked about, but I also talked about, one of the issues that I have. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone else has this problem, right? And that's where you got to figure out the fine line. How can we get fans in the stands? I can only go by what I see, but also what I experience. I decided to not go by what I see on social media because everyone always has something different. I went by my experience, and my experience was this. I could have easily have brought my 5-year-old with me who asked me if he could go to this game. I felt that it was not a good idea, for one, because our section stands. He would not be able to see. That is no one's fault. That's not the fans' fault. That's not the team's fault. It's not the stadium's fault. It's just that's the way it is, right? And so I said, he can't see. Also, like, I just don't feel comfortable because people are idiots. And Jesse, I don't know if you paid attention, but 3 rows behind us, was there not about to be a fight going on between a Tampa individual and a Redskins individual? Now, nothing came out of that, but that was looking a little shaky, like there could have. And I even thought about, should I step in and maybe help de-escalate this situation, or should I just go get someone? And my thing was, you're 100% correct. You know why? Because I'm standing in a set of bibs overalls.
Right.
Probably
on every social media account ever.
100%. So I basically, had stated, look, there's, the kids are our future. Let's think about how we can include them, but make them comfortable, put them in safe zones where things like this don't happen. And it gives people the option to buy tickets for their family, like a friends and family section. We've all seen this before. This is not groundbreaking information that I'm talking about. Next question, because I want to move on from that. There really wasn't much to talk about because
you get a couple of kids with a few beers in them, though. They're going to
listen. Jason is about metrics, right? He's business. Okay, we still think of Jason as he's Bruce Allen. He's wearing many different hats. Honestly, he is, but at the end of the day, he's wearing that business hat. So he's looking at metrics.
He told us he's not football. He said so
he's not football. You're correct.
So we know what he is.
His job is to fix failing businesses. So pay attention to the metrics and try to raise the metrics. Well, honestly, the truth and the reality to that question is you're not going to change anything unless the team wins. Team's got to win, and you got to figure out something. Get your owner completely away and gone from everything. That's the only thing that you can do that's going to put people in stands, right?
I have a suggestion. Take him out on his yacht, tie an anchor to his feet, and throw him overboard.
Well, I mean,
let the fish take care of it.
I mean, I'm send them with fishes.
That's right.
Give them some concrete boots and have them swim with the fishes. All right. So so that one I only answered based upon what I felt was affecting me, and that did affect me because I didn't feel comfortable enough to bring my 5-year-old. Right.
You shouldn't anyway, because you're right. Every time I've ever, the last time the Chargers game that I was at with Jesse. It's the first time I've been to a football team game in so fucking long. Redskins game going back so long that I haven't seen multiple fights. Not necessarily right there in my section, but just around the grounds. It's the first time where I haven't really seen or had any problems whatsoever.
Right. And like I said, I wasn't about to speak for everybody and their brother. I was just going to speak for myself. So that's what I did. Now, question number 2. Hold on. Let me, because there's just there's a million things going on.
Keep these straight. We got 1 and 2.
Okay, 1 and 2. Question 2. Hold on. Let me think. I'm sorry. Question 2. Oh, making the brand. The question about making the brand. They saw the negative feedback that was happening where people were kind of like, yo, just fucking tell us the name, or give us a date of when you're going to do it. Like all this little extra bullshit that you're doing, enough is enough. So Jason's exact words, and I quote, what to you was making the brand like ripping a scab off. And I said, okay, to me, I'm a little bit different. It doesn't take a lot to make me happy. And it doesn't really, bother me so much because the old name is never coming back. Right? We're never going to get that old name back. So you have to make a decision from there. Do you still be a fan because you love football, or do you retire with the name and logo as well? That's it. As a fan,
which would be stupid. Just my opinion. That would be stupid.
I mean, I thought about it, but I'm also not from where you guys are from though either. So I didn't have any home ties. So it was like, what else do I have to lose? Let me go pick a winning team. But I would never do that because, again, I love football. I love the relationships that I've developed with, a lot of you guys. And so obviously I'm going to.
Do you love Jason?
I absolutely love Jason. I absolutely 100% love him. Love him. I'm in love with Jason.
That is adorable.
All right, Jesse looks like he wants me to get through this quickly, so I'm coming.
I'm coming, Jesse.
Oh God,
he's talking about Jason.
I
look what happened.
I just screwed myself.
You did.
So he was concerned about making the brand ripping scabs off of fans who have been really upset about this whole name change process. So I told him based upon how I felt. I said, again, I can't speak for others. And he goes, okay, well, let me break it down for you. Of course, because you're smart. I'm not. So break it down. He said, transparency. He said, is it better to be transparent with the fans and just let them know that we have a name picked already and let them know that this is going to be the specific date that we're going to unveil this information?
That would be better.
And I said 100%. I said that's what everyone's complaint has been since. If we were winning, we'd probably be okay with everything, because again, we made it to the playoffs last season and people started warming it up to the Washington football team name. People were like, oh, it's so kind of not a bad name. Well, of course it's not.
It's not going to be that, is it?
No.
It's not going to be that.
No. I don't know what the name is. So I can't speak on that. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I really don't know what the name is.
You love Jason.
Anyways, back to Jesse. I'm trying, man. John's distracted. I'm trying to get through.
Shut up, John.
Sorry.
All right. And so that's most likely what's going to end up happening, is that we're going to have a definitive date. I can tell you, I feel like it's going to be in March, is when this information is going to come out. There will be a specific date.
They said January.
No, sir.
It's got to be after the season, I would presume.
They said January.
No,
it's got to be after the Super Bowl. Hopefully,
okay, listen.
You do it before the draft.
There's no reason to do it, and there's no reason to do it in February. And March is kind of the start to kick off to talking about offseason and draft. It's going to make more sense.
March 4th
that's not definitive.
The opening of the new league year is March 4th, so I would assume they would have to do it somewhere right around there.
Correct. It's going to make the most sense. Now, that doesn't mean that that's what I was told or that's what's going to happen. So for my grandma who's listening, please don't hold me accountable. God
damn it, Keith.
Yeah, but that's that. And so it looks like we are going to get that information. I think it's the best. I think that Jason thinks that's the best. Now on to question number 3. Question number 3 was talking about a Sean Taylor ceremony redo. Okay, well, so
I think that'd be a bad idea.
I disagree with both of you, and that's okay. I did not say that we need to do a jersey retirement redo, because that's already been done. However, I don't see an issue with making an event at FedEx to where if fans wanted to attend a 3-hour event, kind of like what they do on draft night, right? Where they have Julie Donaldson and people sitting out in the middle of the field and they're interviewing. So what I had suggested is, if you think that you're going to do a redo and give fans the opportunity to arrange themselves to be at a ceremony, make it all about Sean Taylor. You could do video montages from his high school to college to NFL playing days. You can invite, it doesn't have to be just family. If you want to re-invite the family, you can. It gives them the opportunity, but it's not a deal breaker. But you can invite high school, college, teammates, coaches, anybody who personally, was impacted, with Sean and who he was as a person and, a player. Bring them. You can interview them on the field. You can even have someone run up, talk to fans and talk about what Sean Taylor meant to them. Also, August 6th, they use that laser light show. We've never seen it since, right? That was the kickoff to, I forget what the August 6th thing was for, but if you weren't there to see the laser light show, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a great kickoff to the season. Why not utilize those tools that you currently possess to do something with that as well? There's a lot of things that you could do to just create an event.
They
and
own
the idea,
that stuff?
Or did they don't, they can bring the company back to do it. I mean, it can be done. And like I said, and what you're doing here is you're reconnecting, you're allowing the fans to actually properly make arrangements to come to something so they can feel like that they were a part of what they should have been a part of if they would have gotten enough time to be at that football game. You don't have to charge. You don't have to charge to get in. Make it free like you do anything else. You're going to make your money apparently off of Jesse buying beer, and you're going to make your money off of concessions. You're going to make your money off
There's
of
the problem. There's the problem. It's going to come off as if they're exploiting Sean Taylor to make
no,
they tried it, they failed. I think so. And
everyone and their brother.
That comes back
no. Everyone and their brother knows that these events are created because it helps boost sales into the organization, into whatever it is.
Sure.
No, but what you can do is also have Jason Wright out there to talk to the fans. You could have alumni who played, with Sean Taylor.
That's the way you do it.
And that's the thing.
You do it. You do an alumni day.
Correct.
And then nested inside that.
Correct. And then all you're doing is just making this event about him and giving fans the opportunity to connect with something that they could not connect with because they were not given the appropriate amount of time.
I have an idea. Here's my second idea.
Jason Wright, if you're listening, here's a second idea.
I think he's going to like this one. When it comes down to the name change, all right, next year on opening day or whenever you can do it, have you seen any of these things where you have virtual reality in the stadium? It's on your phone. Have you seen like what the Ravens did on Sunday Night Football a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Where if you're in the stadium, you can hit this app or that you hit this address that they give you, and you will be able to see through your phone as you scan your phone around. This gigantic raven flew into the crowd. It was awesome. Somebody did one. I think it might have been.
It's happened this season.
It's happened this season. I think one of the colleges did it, but it's badass. So there you go. You got a new logo. You got a new thing coming in. Well, you have a big red wolf climb over into the stadium and start howling.
Yeah.
No, we got to admit it. It's the wolves.
Yeah, the Panthers did that.
I also suggested possibly having some kind of event with the unveil as well. I mean, I don't know about you, Jesse, but like if you're going to do some type of
parking lot
and event where you're going to reveal the team name and
definitely
you're going to show the uniforms and so on, I'd go to that. It's a 2.5 hour drive for me to witness history. And that's the way that I would see it. I personally would go to that. So people that live by there.
Well, sure. Here's the thing. How many people are assholes? And how many people do you know are going to see whatever they reveal and go, boo? There's enough of a chance
Sure.
that I would not do it because that would be the worst optics in history.
Yeah, quite. I mean, I get that part. That makes sense. I didn't think about that either. I don't know though. Like
You're such a
if you're
positive guy.
but listen, if you're gonna make that decision that this was you got to stand behind it, and you got to stand behind it whether you get cheers or
I agree.
boos.
But you can't have that. It's a social media world these days. The opinions change on a 20-second video. If you have that out there, you're going to have a hard time overcoming that. So I just want to hear one more time how much you love Jason Wright.
Man, I absolutely, you know, God, he even when he talked to me too, like when he was on the phone, this is how he sounded. He's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Not much, Jason." He's like,
you were like, "Hi, Jason."
No, that's not how I was. Not at first. I was playing it cool. First of all, I was like, "Hello, Jason." I'm like, "Hello, Jason. Let's get down to this. Like, none of this pitter patter. Time is money, buddy. I gotta rake my yard." I actually told the man I had to rake my yard. Like, I gotta rake my yard. Time is money, buddy. Let's do this. And he was like, "Hey, man, so what's going on?" "Yeah, I'm doing a lot too. Just, I've been hanging out at the old office. Got a lot of work to do. Not enough time in a day to do it." And I was like, "I love you, Jason."
All right, enough of the Jason subject.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. Wait till the movie comes out.
The movie.
Tonight, yes. You wait. I am going to have so much fun at your expense, Keith. It's not even good.
Well, and here's the thing. And here's the thing too. At the end of the call, he's like, "So do you have any questions for me?" And I mean, listen, man, I could have been like, "Yeah,
can I be your best friend?
What's the name?" I guarantee you, there's some.
Can I go for a ride in your car?
Shut up. I guarantee you there was some dummy that talked to him and was like, "Oh, can you tell me what the team name is? Can you, well, can you do it?" I mean, just dumb shit. And like, I didn't,
Andy
I didn't want to do that. So he's like, "Do you have any?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I wasn't even prepared for the questions that you were going to ask me. Like, I really wasn't. Like, I felt like I sounded like a stupid idiot more than I normally do, but I wasn't prepared for it because I didn't quite know the purpose of this. And I'm going to be 100% transparent and honest with everyone here. I really hope that this was not just for optics, in the sense for me to go and talk about, "Hey, I talked to Jason. Look, Jason is this." I do believe Jason is trying to do the right things, but there is some execution that definitely needs to be done. It needs to be done with the ambassador group. It needs to be done. There needs to be some execution. And that's what we've been poorly. Basically, I ended the call with Jason. Utilize the people that are here to help and that want to help, and especially to the people who are doing it for free. Because without us, what are you really doing? And I don't want any of this to be for optics. I'm taking this shit seriously. I'm taking the ambassador thing seriously, but I don't want talk. I want action. And I think that that's what a lot of fans want is action. I'm done with talking. You can tell me all day long that you fucked up on the Sean Taylor ceremony. What are you going to do about it?
Well,
I love you, Jason, but that's the truth. And if you expected anything other than that, I'm sorry for you.
If you were worried about whether they're doing this for optics, look, I've seen most of you, and it's not a pretty picture. I think they would have picked some better looking people. They would have gotten some more model type people.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. You're right.
And that's where I'm at.
But at the end of the day, I appreciated the opportunity. I'm pretty, for me, I'm going to speak to me, is that this would have never have happened any other time.
All right, well, let's real quick get some picks in because Jesse's.
Yeah, I got to take the dogs out. I still got a 30-minute drive home.
All right, so here we go. All right, so last night, what we all picked. I'm looking at the wrong week.
We all picked New England.
Patriots.
New England.
We all picked the Patriots last week. By the way, last week the Steelers tied the fucking Lions. Ha ha. So none of us got any points for that. However, last week I did. I tied Jesse. I caught up.
You caught me.
2 games. I made up 2 games on Keith thanks to the Vikings and to the Eagles. Because I picked them both and neither one of you did. All right, so the Ravens and the Bears. The Ravens go into Chicago.
Ravens. Yeah, Ravens 6-point favorites.
I'm going to say the Ravens. They took it on the chin last time when they didn't expect to, and I think that they're not going to let that happen again. All right, Packers going to Minnesota.
This is going to be a good game. The Packers are only favored by 1, but I think they're probably going to they're going to win, but I think it's going to be a close game. They always play good games.
Every time I take the Vikings, they let me down. So Packers.
Yeah,
I'm taking the Vikings.
It's in Minnesota. I'd
It
probably
would
be
be a
more,
Vikings game to win.
more comfortable if it was in Lambeau, but I still think the Packers are going to win.
Nope, I'm taking the Vikings in this. Kirk Cousins is having a monster year right
He
now,
is.
whether anybody wants to admit it or not. He's having a great
No, he's
year.
having a great
And
year.
He has
He's
played
having a
well
great
traditionally.
year.
He is. And I like the way they're playing right now. I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings. That's
I
right.
hate
I
Kirk
like
Cousins, man. I just
him.
hate that guy
Kirk,
so
goddamn.
much.
Love him.
Kirk, I hate you.
Love him.
Hate you.
All right. All right. Colts and Bills. The Bills finally get an actual NFL team to play. That's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. So it's only the Colts, but they're going up to Buffalo. Who you taking in this one?
Buffalo's 7-point favorite, and I'm going to stay with the Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with the Bills. If this was in Indy, I might have pulled the Colts for an upset, but nah, I'm going with the Bills.
I'm looking at here. Yeah, okay, that's right. I'm sorry. I was
Bills
the
and
Lions
Colts
threw me off here. We got the Detroit Lions traveling to play the Cleveland Browns, which you would think would be an absolute smokeroo, that the Browns should just walk all over this team because
Yeah,
they
but
can't.
the Browns
get out of their
been
own
playing
way.
like shit.
That's right. They've been playing like the Browns. So, I mean, dude, did you see in the tie last week against the Steelers that kick that guy tried to make at the end of the game? My God, that looked like he was a friggin' a junior middle school kid going out there to do that.
ties are such garbage, man.
They are such garbage. And I got to tell you, once they got rid of sudden death overtime and turned it into this everybody gets a try, we have ties. And ties fucking suck. So this everybody gets a try sucks.
Browns are favored by 12. I think it's going to be closer than that. So I definitely take the points with the Lions, but I'm going with the Browns to win it. But Lions, the Lions play hard. Even though they haven't won a game, they play hard every game.
How's Mayfield? Is he playing? I haven't checked this out yet.
Yeah, he's
I really
playing.
don't know that it matters.
He's playing.
I'm taking the Browns. Who you taking?
Well, since I'm a little bit ahead of you guys, I'm going to go ahead and gamble. The Lions are going to get their first win against the Browns.
Well, they got a half a win last week.
Yeah, that
That's not even a half a win. That's not even a half a win. That's worse than a loss. All right, Texans playing the Titans. Is there anybody that hopes that the Texans have a chance in this game?
Texans do not have a chance in this.
Titans.
I agree. We're all on the Titans there. Now, last week we all went in on the same team several times and got our asses beat. And one of the teams that beat our ass last week was the 49ers. So they're playing the Jaguars this week. It seems a little bit more obvious. They're going to Jacksonville, though, which is always risky because that city's full of crackheads.
I would still pick the 49ers regardless.
Yeah, I'm taking them.
Yeah, I'm not as comfortable as you guys are, but I'm taking the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm taking the 49ers. And if you're not comfortable, maybe it's because you're sitting on your chair funny or something. I don't know.
Well, if you're not comfortable, next time let me rub your nipples. You'll be fine.
Now, from what I understand, there's a lawsuit right now in both Miami and in New York because the penitentiary system up there are going to force inmates that are in solitary confinement to watch the Dolphins and the Jets this week. And they are complaining and saying that is against their constitutional rights for, extreme punishments. All right, so the Dolphins are going to New York to play the Jets. Mike White has lost his starting job yet again.
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. The Mike White era lasted all of a game and a half. Woo-hoo.
I'm going with Joe Flacco and the Jets.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go with. I'll take Joe Flacco too. Joe Flacco against Jacoby Brissett. Now that is really how you set the fucking TV ratings on fire.
There you go.
Right. And look at this. They put in so many motherfucking rules to protect the quarterbacks. And here we are in week goddamn 12. And look how many goddamn games we have with backup quarterbacks going in there having to play against. They didn't change a thing. All right. They play football. They get hurt.
Yep.
Okay. Fucking A, NFL. All right. Speaking of quarterbacks that got hurt, the Saints are going to trot out, I guess, Taysom Hill again, or is it going to be Trevor Seaman?
I have no idea.
I knew you couldn't wait to say that. You've been planning for that all
You started
day.
laughing as soon as I said it.
Because it's funny.
That's right. If his name was Trevor Fart, I would think that was funnier.
I would laugh at that too.
I would be dying. Trevor
Jesse,
Fart.
stop
That's
being
the
mature,
best.
you dick.
Doesn't matter what
I'll
you
take I don't know. I think I'll take the Seaman.
You're taking the Seaman? I've heard about that.
All right, well, what's this game? I've been focused on Seaman.
Eagles and Seaman. I mean Saints.
Oh, Eagles.
Oh, you don't know the half of what's coming. So you're taking the Eagles in this game, even though last week you gave up on your Eagles pick, and that was one of the ones that I used to catch you.
I know.
Or get within shouting distance anyway.
I'm taking the Eagles.
All right, I'm going to also take the Eagles. Actually, yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. Tell your wife that even though you don't expect any sex this weekend.
She's standing right here staring at me, looking weird. Like,
you said you're taking the Eagles, and I said, mm-hmm.
Oh, you're talking shit. Okay.
Aha. All right. So the Bengals and the Raiders. This is a strange game. The Bengals have started to Bengal out lately. They've started to look like the Bengals lately. All right. The Raiders have started to look like, it's hard to say.
Look, they started to look like they don't have a head coach.
I'm going to pick the Raiders to win. I'm not comfortable with it, but I hope they win. And then next week when they play, never mind.
No, we have Monday.
Bengals are going to win. Bengals are going to win.
You're taking the Bengals?
Yeah.
All right, I'm taking the Raiders.
I am taking the Bengals as well. I think they've had the bye week to get themselves a little bit out of the rut that they were in. I think that they're going to be all right. All right, this is the game of the week. The Cowboys and the Chiefs.
This is a tough game to pick.
And the Chiefs.
This is a tough game to pick, but I'm going Chiefs.
I don't think so.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't think it's a tough game to pick, and I am going to also go with the Cowboys because I think that their defense is just kicking the shit out of people, and the Chiefs.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Chiefs are favored by 2.5, and that's because they're home. It probably should be a pick'em game, but I think the Cowboys' defense is just better than the Chiefs' defense.
I think the Chiefs are one of those teams right now that's above average and not much else because they make so many damn mistakes.
But they can score on a whim, though. They can score.
They can, but I think the Cowboys are much more consistent. So I'm taking the Cowboys, and you're taking the Keith.
The Keiths.
Yes,
the Queefs.
Chief is taking the Keiths.
Oh, the Queefs.
The Queefs. You're taking the Queefs.
The Queefs.
All right.
Queefs. You guys are Jesse. I thought you were mature.
What?
Immaturity.
He's the one that asked me to be on the show.
There's nothing funny about a queef.
Well, it depends on where your face is. All right. So we got the Cardinals.
God, it's so stupid.
You so goddamn stupid. You know, I was conversating with Lenny the other day about how stupid you was.
There's an almost 60% chance.
I'll tell you what, it's
I'm
like
gonna
59.
get queefed on.
I done blowed up there. It's coming back.
59%, which is close to 60.
Cardinals or Seahawks?
All right, the Cardinals are going to play the Seattle Seahawks this week, and I do believe that if Sierra queefs, she can sell 1 million records of her doing this.
Well, who's playing?
I think is Kyler Murray back?
Wait, it's who? Cardinals and who?
Cardinals and the Seahawks.
Oh yeah, Cardinals have been rough lately, man.
Yeah,
well, they haven't had their players.
I mean, they've only lost. They've been rough. They've lost 2 games in a row. I think. No.
Right.
When's Kyler Murray coming back?
I don't know, but I tell you what, he went into a delicatessen the other day and he was ordering some Swiss cheese and he fell in one of the holes and they had to call the ambulance to come and try to get him out. So I think he's all right. He just smells a little funny.
I'm going to take the Cardinals.
All right.
We don't know if Kyler Murray's back.
No. There might be a flipperoo on game day, but I'm going to say the Cardinals are going to win for now.
Seahawks.
All right. I'm going to go with the Seahawks as well. Even if Kyler Murray is back, I think that the Seahawks got embarrassed last week by getting shut out, and I would like them to get themselves feeling a little bit better about themselves this week so that it's not next week.
That's true.
All right, the Steelers, the god-awful, dog-butted, rotten fucking goddamn Pittsburgh Steelers, who couldn't beat the motherfucking Detroit Lions, are playing the Chargers.
Chargers.
I did not know that there could be ties in professional football, you know. That was kind of embarrassing. I could not beat the Detroit Lions, and everybody so far, to my recollection, had beaten the Detroit Lions.
I went and YouTube Ben Roethlisberger doing an interview, and he sounds absolutely nothing like that.
I disagree. He sounds completely like that. You ask Ben Roethlisberger what his greatest memory in football was. It was like, well, you know, that time that I was playing against the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl, and I fell down at the 1 yard line, and the referee said it was a touchdown. That was great. That was awesome, you know. Boy, that was great. All right, so the Steelers and the Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers.
Chargers.
Nobody's going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nobody believes in the Roethlisberger. There's a Roethlisberger, a nice big bite of a Roethlisberger. All right, the Giants are playing the Buccaneers. Tom Brady's going to be fucking pissed, and he's going to look at Daniel Jones and go, "Fuck you, country boy." So I'm taking the Bucs all day.
Oh, the Bucs. 11-point favorites. What were they? What were we last week?
I don't even remember.
I don't either.
All right. So speaking of us, the Washington football team goes down to Carolina and plays the Panthers. Good grief.
Washington football team.
I am also taking the Washington football team because we are taking Panthers with us. And fuck Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Fuck Cam Newton.
I know, Jesse. I feel the same way.
It's tough, man. I mean, I want us to win. I think we can win.
Can we, though? I just don't see how you can do it. I don't see how you can.
Sam Darnold last week.
You did?
I did. I ran into him in a shopping center. At least I thought I did, but it was.
What'd you say to him?
Sandbag. I said, "Hi, Sam Darnold. How are you?" But it was just a sandbag that was up on top of a stop sign. And I thought, well, that's foolish of me.
I'm gonna go with Panthers.
Shit. You're taking the Panthers. Good. That's good because you are the biggest pessimist there is. So I'm glad that you're taking the Panthers. That was a good luck charm for us.
Yeah.
All right. The current standings are Jesse 61, John 61, Keith 72. Fuck him.
No, fuck him.
All right, and I think because Jesse's dogs are crossing their legs and their eyes are turning yellow, we're going to say that's it for this time on the Bleeding Birdie podcast. Hopefully we come back and see you on a freaking Victory Monday. Jesse, say your thing.
Hail to the team.